welcome to Kick, and we've got the first round of the World Championship this week with the 250s from Talavera de la Reina in Spain.
Hi, my name is Tallon VOHLAND.
Je m'appelle Yves de Maria.
Je m'appelle Frédéric BOLLEY.
Mein Name ist Pete Bayer. Ich m'appelle Sébastien TORTELLI.
Mike Brown.
I was 2 times world champion in the 250 class in 95 and 96.
I was second in the World Championship last year.
I was third in World Championship in 95 and 96.
J'étais champion du monde 125 l'année dernière.
Je suis né à Marseille.
The action getting underway in Spain for the 250 contingent in the World Motocross Championship. The most hotly contested part of the championship, perhaps, the 250s, with the likes of Stefan EVERTS as they've just introduced themselves up against the newcomer this year, Sébastien TORTELLI. Let's take a look at the riders in a little bit more detail now then. And Stefan EVERTS riding the Honda, the CR250, the reigning champion from 96, also champion in 1995 as well, and a former 125 TC champion himself. He's got his own team this year, the new Honda bike, which has caused a little bit of controversy amongst the riders as to whether it's working well or not. Monique Beverts on the Suzuki is one of his main rivals. He's been the runner-up to EVERTS the last 2 years, came close to winning the championship last year, but lost out in the latter part of the season. And the American Tallon VOHLAND, number 3, he's on a Yamaha this year. He's switched from Kawasaki, and he's joined the Rinaldi team. Third in 1996, and out to do well this year. Other favourites for the title, Yves de Maria, Pit Spira from Germany, Joachim Carlsen, who remains team leader with the team that won the championship with EVERTS last year, Frédéric BOLLEY and Werner de Witt. Top Brits, Rob Herring and Paul Cooper also involved in the championship, but all eyes are really on this man, number 24, Sébastien TORTELLI, the young 18-year-old Frenchman who moves up from the 125s. Let's go on board with Werner de Witt now for a look at this fairly long track, which takes about 2 minutes to get around.
Straight away. Left. Back to a straight. There we have a chicane. Going left. Right. Uphill. Then a downhill jump. With a long straight uphill. Jump for the finish line.
So Werner de Witt finishing off the lap, one of the fastest in qualifying, in fact, over that long lap, over 2 minutes the times to get through, but TORTELLI was fastest in the Group A of the qualifying, 2 minutes 5.508 his time, but remarkably a second and a half faster than anybody else in his group, and compared to the other group, well, very nearly 3 seconds a lap faster. A remarkable performance from Sébastien TORTELLI, the reigning 125cc champion, now into the bigger class with support from Jackie Vimont.
Ça veut rien dire du tout, un tour chrono.
Pole position is great, but it really means nothing in motocross. One fast lap is nice, but it's not like racing a complete moto. It's 40 minutes long, of course, and pole position means that I start in the right place, that we've made good tests with the bike, that it's working well, but a 40-minute long race is very, very different. Second fastest time in the group for Tallon VOHLAND, the American, putting in a good performance on the Yamaha. And a little bit of showing off for the crowd as well.
Well, the last 2 years, you know, Stefan and Manik were very, very good, and every year I became a little better, but they also became better. And this year my focus is just directly on winning, and I was very consistent last year but not winning enough motos. So my focus this year is just to win as many motos as possible and not settle for second or third. So I go this year for win. I want to win the championship.
Third fastest in the group, number 7, Pit Byra, riding on the Honda, so Kawasaki, Yamaha and Honda, the top 3 in the Group A qualifying. A good performance from Pit Byra. I've already finished 5th in the World Championship, so last year my goal was to get into the top 3, but unfortunately I was injured. So this year the same goal exists, hopefully to finish in the top 3 of the championship. In the other group, Group B, the fastest time for a newcomer, the American Mike Brown, who won the pre-season event in Beaucaire in France to get the whole thing underway just last week. Mike Brown, though, looking fast with a 2-minute 8.187 in practice.
This week earlier I had a crash training and bruised my wrist, but this week, hopefully tomorrow, I come out and finish in the top 5.
Just 0.2 of a second slower, René de Witt, the man we were riding with on that on-board lap, and the third fastest time for the Honda of Yves de Maria, just 3/10 off the fastest in the group. I've prepared myself correctly, but we still have a lot of work to do. We still have a bit more work on the fitness side and a bit more work on the bike itself. My goal for the first Grand Prix is to try and finish 5th in each of the motos, and that would make me happy. Well, what of the favourites? Stefan EVERTS, the reigning champion, and Monique Beverts. Well, Beverts was only 4th fastest, and EVERTS only 5th fastest in his session. EVERTS still not quite got the new Honda set up right yet.
I'm very happy and very pleased with the bike. We did a lot of testing already and did some races, and the races went very well. And I think the people who give the critics, they have to ride the bike and give it a little of time, and don't ride it 2 laps and say it's shit and it's bad. You have to give it some time.
A pretty amazing haircut from Stefan EVERTS this year. Must get a bit squashed by the crash helmet. Not such a good result for the Frenchman Frédéric BOLLEY. He broke a toe, so he only set the 10th fastest time. I'm running for the title this year, but I've made a bad start because 2 weeks ago I broke a toe during training. I'll just have to do my best tomorrow. To get some points would be fine. And I know the season is long and the situation could perhaps change as we go throughout the year.
Puis on verra. Bon, il y a 15 Grands Prix, donc la saison est longue. Donc il peut se passer beaucoup de choses encore.
Of the British riders, Rob Herring was 9th fastest in Group A, Mark Eastwood 14th, and in Group B, Paul Cooper was 6th, Dennis Hewitson 13th, and Jeff Perrett was 17th.
With Casio G-Shock and BK. Once upon a time, a gang of friends found an old-school bus, did it up, and set out across Europe for a good time.
Jump the Bus, Friday at midnight CET on Eurosport.
Welcome back to the first round of the 250cc World Motocross Championship, and Sunday morning dawns and the riders a chance to meet the crowds. A lot of support for motocross in Spain, and this year there's more professionalism involved in the championship, the riders being brought to the fans a little bit more to get involved, and the promoter Giuseppe Luongo very keen to make more of the motocross championship this year, as he told us.
It's many things, from technical things to, for example, we have timekeeping with transponder. It's same like in road race. We can have hospitality. We can have a better services for press. But the most important things, we can try to make a big work with television. You know, we can have all the race covered by Eurosport, Brazil, and so on in USA. And I think this year we have a really worldwide coverage. And this is our wish, is to show this great show to the people in all the world.
So Giuseppe Luongo trying to take motocross forward with its coverage throughout the course of the year. It's caused a few little bit of ructions with some of the race promoters around the world, including in the UK, but the new style motocross season gets underway with the Spanish round in Talavera de la Reina, and the riders ready for the first moto. So ready to get the first race underway, and it's a great start for the newcomer, Sébastien TORTELLI, number 24, who gets the whole shot. The rest of them trying to get round, but there's a tumbler in the middle of the pack. The Finn Miska Aaltonen goes down, number 21. But up front, Sébastien TORTELLI already opening up a slight advantage over Monique Beverts, number 2, Stefan EVERTS, number 1, and then he's followed by Pits Barra, Yves de Maria, Tallon VOHLAND, and just behind Vohland is Thierry Bettis, another Frenchman. But up front, Sébastien TORTELLI, the 125cc world champion from last year, straight away streaking ahead of Monique Beverts and Stefan EVERTS. There's EVERTS, the reigning champion. The last 2 years he's taken the 250 title. Having said that, he had a rather slow start to the season in 1996, but in third place here in the early running in this first moto. Both races 40 minutes long. Remember, just over 40 minutes long, in fact, so the early stages of the race to get into position, and then the physical toll begins to tell. Meanwhile, the battle's going on further behind the leaders. TORTELLI pulling out a little bit of an advantage at the moment. Behind him, still Monique Beverts, and then Stefan EVERTS, and then being chased behind them. Further back, Mike Brown is a long way down. Had a very bad start indeed. The American who won the Beaucaire race started at the back and was virtually last after that first corner mishap, and he's now worked his way back up. He's earned himself 20 places in the last 8 laps, so he's doing well. TORTELLI continues to establish his advantage, and really he's pulled out quite a lead now over Monique Beverts in second. You can see just how hard TORTELLI's pushing the bike, and yet always looks very relaxed on the machine itself. As further back, number 4, Yves de Maria, he's lying in 6th position now. Meanwhile, second place is still number 2, Monique Beverts. There he is on the Suzuki. Stefan EVERTS on the Honda in 3rd position. And he's now being chased by Tallon VOHLAND on the Yamaha, number 3, the American. And then Pits Barra, number 7, just behind them. Two-stroke 250cc engines working hard on this excellent course in Spain. Great weather conditions as well for this opening round of the championship, as Sébastien TORTELLI continues to assert his authority over this first race. It's the battle behind him that's interesting. These 3 riders together, Monique Beverts, Stefan EVERTS, and there, number 3, Tallon VOHLAND, switching from Kawasaki to Yamaha this year. It's interesting to see, of course, TORTELLI on a Kawasaki up front. Took his 125cc title with Kawasaki last year and has stayed loyal to that concern. But Tallon VOHLAND switching from Kawasaki to Yamaha for this season with the Rinaldi team. Further back, we saw Frédéric BOLLEY there, number 5. He had that broken toe, and he's struggling down in 19th place. De Maria, well, he's still laying in 6th position. Mike Brown, though, he's dropped back again. Number 75, the American who went well, has now dropped back again. Up front, Sébastien TORTELLI leading from beginning to end. The end of the race in sight now, and TORTELLI has come onto the 250 scene just as we may have expected. He did a fair bit of French Supercross over the winter. He got used to the 250 bike. He competed on a 250 bike on the Nations Cup last year, and he comes into 250s and wins his first moto. Good performance. The whole shot helped me a lot, he says, and then I just got into my rhythm. I managed to ride very cleanly and try and stay out of trouble. The track's quite dangerous in places. So how did you manage to gain such an advantage over the others? Well, I didn't really think about the others. I didn't try and manage my race compared to what they were doing. I just rode for myself and did the best job that I could. So second place for Motocross EVERTS, the runner-up in the championship last year. And the Suzuki rider having to settle for second position in this first moto.
Had a good start, second place, and yeah, Tortelli had the whole shot and he was a little bit faster than me, so I kept my second place safe, and that was it.
Okay, did you try to reach Tortelli or not?
Yeah, I try. Of course I try in the beginning, but he was a little bit faster than me, and I was making some mistakes, and then I lost some rhythm in the race, but he was a little bit faster.
And third place for the American Tallon VOHLAND, telling the press all about it, and we managed to get a word with the American. Happy with that first performance?
I was very happy with it. I started not so good, but I caught up to Stefan. He was difficult to pass, so I waited because I knew that I couldn't catch Tortelli. He had the whole shot, so I was hoping to get second. I wait till the end for the track to dry out to make some new lines. It worked good on Stefan, but Manic was just a little bit strong in the end also, so I couldn't pass him, but I'm happy.
So we'll be back with the second moto to see how they get on in race 2 in a moment.
World Figure Skating Championships, live from Lausanne. Friday should be quite a day. In the afternoon session, the ladies take to the ice for the first time. It's the short program, and there's no room for error. And in the evening, we'll know the names of the ice dance world champions. The holders, Grichuk and Platov, started out as favorites. Can anyone upset the odds? Live from Lausanne, ladies short and dance-free programs, Friday, 1400 and 1830 CET on Eurosport.
Come to me, my love.
With the presenting sponsor, Bailey's, and
Organza de Givenchy.
Hong Kong, the Rugby World Cup Sevens. 24 nations meet in a 3-day demonstration of pace and power. England won in Edinburgh in 1993, but 4 years on, can Europe hold back the onslaught of the Southern Hemisphere? The first 2 days are exclusively live on Eurosport. The Rugby World Cup Sevens, Friday, 9:30 CET, live exclusively on Eurosport. This event is brought to you by Cathay Pacific, the official airline of the Rugby World Cup Sevens, 1997.
Welcome back to Talavera for the second race, and we've just seen the win in the first one for Sébastien TORTELLI ahead of Motocross EVERTS and Tallon VOHLAND. Top British performances: Paul Cooper finished 10th, Rob Herring was 12th, and Mark Eastwood 18th. Remember, points for each of the races added together at the end of it all to go towards the overall championship at this very early stage. So to the start of the second heat then, and away we go. And a good start again from Sébastien TORTELLI. Looks as though he sneaked ahead on the number 24 bike once more. Meanwhile, further back, there are problems once again. Number 88 and number 55, Jeff Perrett there. Michael Gouverneur, number 88, is Colin Dugmore in trouble, one of the regular front runners. So several guys in trouble, including Britain's Jeff Perrett. TORTELLI leads, though, ahead of Motocross EVERTS in second, much the same there. But third place this time is Thierry Baptiste. Then it's Stefan EVERTS fourth, Pit Byra, and a bad start for Tallon VOHLAND, who's down in 10th position on bike number 3. TORTELLI already opening up an advantage again. Can he make it to 2 straight wins and win the overall in this Spanish Grand Prix and really set the season off in fine style and set the 250cc scene alight, really, with performances like this? We've seen guys come up from 125s and do well. In fact, Stefan EVERTS came into his 250 race and won it. But Sébastien TORTELLI certainly showing the other 250 riders that he's going to be a major threat for the title honours. So Pit Byra there, number 7, also running well at this point. But nobody quite able to match Sébastien TORTELLI. But back with the leader, and a little mistake from Tortelli. Well, that's interesting. He's been making it look so easy, but just a little mistake, and that's just cost him a second or two. Still leads, though, over Monique Everts. And then a battle for third between Thierry Baptiste, number 19, Stefan EVERTS, number 1. In fact, EVERTS gets through there and is now up into third position. And Tallon VOHLAND's done well. Remember, he was back down to 10th place. The man who finished third in the first race. Number 3, there he is. He's now caught these guys up. So VOHLAND is now in 5th position. In fact, that's going to be 4th very soon by the looks of it. As he tries to get past Thierry Baptiste, doesn't quite make it there. EVERTS still comes through in 3rd place. Let's look back. VOHLAND is now up into 4th place. Baptiste is back to 5th, and he's battling with Pit Byra, number 7. Well, Tallon VOHLAND said he was out to win races, and that's certainly what he seems to be aiming for here. Dropped down to 10th, but he's now moving up through the field very quickly, and in fact in the battle for 3rd. Meanwhile, it's just a battle between Baptiste and Byra. And that looks set to continue throughout the race. Back to the battle for 3rd, though. Number 1, Stefan EVERTS, the reigning champion. Number 3, he finished in the championship. 3rd place last year for Tallon VOHLAND. VOHLAND and EVERTS side by side. Now all VOHLAND. And there, a nice aggressive move on EVERTS. Just got ahead and managed to cut across in front of Stefan EVERTS. And Tallon VOHLAND really looks very fired up this year, the American. On the Yamaha now. Seems to be fitting in with the team very quickly. And he goes chasing after Monique Everts now. Everts still in 2nd place. Remember, Tortelli still leads at the moment. There he is, number 24. Doing a good job up front so far. And meanwhile, this battle for 2nd is really beginning to develop now. Tallon VOHLAND, number 3, really pushing Monique Everts hard. And he's got through down on the inside there, so VOHLAND gets past Everts. And it moves into 2nd position now. Goes chasing after Sébastien TORTELLI. And remember, VOHLAND dropped back to 10th on the first lap. So this has been a good recovery ride so far. Oh, and Tortelli's in trouble. Number 24, the race leader, Tortelli, has come off the bike and through into the lead goes Tallon VOHLAND. Monique Everts goes up into 2nd place with Tortelli trying to fire that Kawasaki up again. And there's a big change around. Stefan EVERTS comes through. Pit Byra comes through. Tortelli's dropped down to 6th position by the look of it. There he is, number 24. Disaster for Tortelli. Just as it looked as though he was going to come onto the 250 scene and win both races, suddenly perhaps a lapse of concentration, and he's dropped back to 6th. And we've got another faller there. That's Joachim Carlsen. Carlsen, number 9, has taken a tumble. And there, as the tiredness begins to set in, this first real trial of their fitness after the winter break. They've done some races already, but it's never quite the same as getting into the World Championship races. And so Tallon VOHLAND leads. Everts is 2nd, and Tortelli now is trying to make up for that lost ground. He's now trying to get past Pit Byra. And he sneaks through, but has he held on to it? Well, in fact, he's battling already with EVERTS now. Battling with Stefan EVERTS, and this really is a hard-fought battle between the reigning 250 champion and the reigning 125 champion, both on 250s now. Side-by-side stuff, great racing. Number 24, the young Frenchman, Sébastien TORTELLI. And he's battling with Stefan EVERTS, the Belgian, who's already won the 250 title twice. Oh, it's good stuff. Just giving each other enough room. And still, EVERTS just maintains the advantage over Tortelli. Important battle, this one, really, in terms of the whole year, because EVERTS will be determined to stay in front of Tortelli, but he just made a little mistake. Can Tortelli get round him? Cuts back on the inside, and now Tortelli finally gets ahead of EVERTS. And the crowd are loving this battle. And it looks as though Tortelli, now that he's sneaked past, may well be able to extend that advantage. And, well, that's a little blow for Stefan EVERTS. Early days in the development of the CR250 Honda, as he was telling us earlier. But he would have liked to have kept Tortelli behind him. This is the battle for the lead, though. Tallon VOHLAND, number 3, and Monique Everts, number 2. very, very close between these two, but it's going to be Tallon VOHLAND who wins it from Monique Everts.
Manic was riding very strong, you know, and I had a very bad start. I caught up to him. I had better lines. I passed him. He followed my lines, but I stayed ahead of him to the end, and I win.
So, Sébastien TORTELLI recovering to third place in the end. Well, there was shadow on part of the circuit, part of the track. I didn't see a big hole and I crashed, basically. So after that, you may have had a good battle with Stefan EVERTS, didn't you? He said, yeah, well, I needed several laps to get back into the rhythm after my crash. After that, I was back in the battle, but it was difficult. So TORTELLI finished second overall in the Spanish Grand Prix. Tallon VOHLAND taking the overall victory, although they had equal points. They both had a first and a third, but VOHLAND just sneaking it on the result of the second race in terms of the overall win. The Brits not in much luck. Paul Cooper not classified. His bike was cutting out. Rob Herring also had troubles, but we'll have more motocross for you soon on Kick.